So they're very big, always work, very, very well respected, always work. And they decided together to figure out what was going on here. And they had, absolutely confidence that they could grow a plant product here in the United States and produce medicine from it that would compare as easily to Africa or India. So they did that. They did the combined farm. There's a book put out by Minnie Watts, I believe is her name, Modern Herbs from Ancient Gardens. And she actually has pictures of the Eli Lilly Parkdavis farm in that book. You can see the project as it's unfolding. And sure enough, they came out with a fantastic product that wound up being the base product for every product after this. A picture about 1915, 1920. Every product basically out there was essentially a Parkdavis or Eli Lilly product that had been repackaged properly. They were just, if not that, then they based all their work on Eli Lilly Parkdavis because it was standard. They standardized everything. And towards that end, remember I said, now, you have to know, they didn't know what the active ingredient was. The active ingredient wasn't discovered until the 1960s. So at that point, they were just trying to make a plant that would boil down a tincture that would actually be worth it. And what they came up with as a test, you're going to love it. The physiological test, Parkdavis and Eli Lilly came up with the test, physiological activity of the plant material was to administer it to a dog. And you see the dog get stoned looking, literally, the dog started to wobble, bleary-eyed, can't stand up straight, then they would say it was physiologically active. And one of my, as this project unfolds, and it really is my life's work to gather these artifacts and put them in the right hands and make sure these museums are built, not just one, but many museums, towards this end. I want at some point to dedicate some space to those dogs. I want to know their history. I want to know, how they ended up. I want everything about them. I want to know their names, handle material, everything about those dogs. Intensely interested in this well. So that's some evidence and artifacts about them. So anyway, they standardized it. They came up with this way of being able to the advertising was great. The fact that the whole AMA journal covered about how you can trust Parkdavis because Parkdavis is going to throw away thousands of pounds of defunct plant material, cannabis, Americana. And we do this solely because we want you to have a stable and good product. And that was the stuff. So it's quite wonderful. After this time period, which isn't that far off, you're thinking, gosh, Harrison Act, 1914, the Maryland Tax Act, 1938. I'm talking about 1915, 1920, 1925. This is right on the heels of the most major discoveries in cannabis in the United States ever that we outlined. And you have to really keep that in perspective when you're talking about racism and stuff that Russ is going to talk about in the struggle. We had hundreds of projects. There's a fellow out there on the net. He's my associate. He's my nemesis. He's so funny. He puts all these pictures out on the web of different artifacts. Andrew Garrett, and I love him. Wherever he is, he's really doing a good job. I just wish he would put who owns the photograph with the photograph. Otherwise, he can't use it. He won't listen. He's on a mission from God. And I agree with him. I wish he would do that. But anyway, he has chronicled some 2,000 medicinal artifacts. From books and references and actual pictures of eBay and things, a lot of things that he and my colleagues spent money to try to buy. He has chronicled these things. And it really is mind-boggling. A couple of thousand products, not a couple of hundred. Or in 1920, there was a book that came out, Walton's Marijuana, the New Danger. And he listed 28 products. And for a long time in the 60s and 70s, that was a standard thing. You just assumed that was correct with 28 products. Well, he forgot 2 zeros, evidently, when he referenced that number of products that were available in pharmacies before it was taken off the shelf. And of course, it was 1938. It wasn't outlawed. The AMA did come in and testify. They didn't do as effective a job as the cannabis seed people that were working for the herb seed. They were able to exclude that, but they did, I guess, make some accommodations saying, well, we'll have no trouble giving them tax stamps. There'll be uninterrupted access. Well, bullshit. I don't know etiology or whatever, how that happened, but from 1938 to 1942, it went down. There was no more medicinal access